Kentucky's News Channel, WHAS 11, Louisville. Due to the following Derby 121 special presentation, our regularly scheduled program will not be seen at this time.
Welcome to a special Thunder edition of Louisville Tonight Live. Here are your hosts, Kirby Adams and Bob Sokoler.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Kirby Adams.
And I'm Bob Sokoler, and we are really glad you're joining us tonight for the Thunder preview edition of Louisville Tonight Live, as you see the large crowd on hand tonight.
Now, if you decided to stay home, if the car's in the garage, if you're nice and warm in your living room, well, Bob and I are going to be with you tonight all the way through the fireworks.
But right now, for this special Thunder preview, the entire Louisville Tonight Live staff is on hand with these stories.
So how do you get the best spot from which to watch the Thunder? Well, it doesn't come without a price. I'm Stephen Reynolds, and I'll introduce you to the Thunder Diehards.
Coming down now, 5. Experience. Hi, I'm Roseanne Rogers, and I'm live at the Belvedere. I'll give you a taste of food, fun, and festivities. Hi, I'm Jane McClue in the Thunder Control Center. I will have a story on a family with real firepower, the great Zambellis.
Thank you, Jane. And of course, the Zambellis, the world-famous family that will not only have designed tonight's display, but will also launch it.
Recently, we traveled to Pennsylvania for a behind-the-scene look at how they put the sparkle into thunder.
If anyone knows the 1, 2, 3s of fireworks, it's the Zambellis. Nearly 100 years old, this Newcastle, Pennsylvania business has lit up the skies over thousands of American cities and abroad. They've done a bang-up job for presidents, royalty, even Letterman.
But the job you know the Zambellis for is the biggest fireworks display in the world. Thunder over Louisville.
It is America's largest display of fireworks, so we have to be prepared as if we were gearing up for the 4th of July.
4th of July and Thunder get started in small concrete structures like these. There's no large plant or factory in the fireworks biz. It's safer if you separate the work. While the Zambellis buy many of the shells they use, some are produced in Newcastle. The formula and process determine the type of firework. These small cubes, for example, will form star patterns.
Bianco, white stars. Blue stella, blue stars.
They're not KFC, but the Zambellis have their own original recipe formulas written by company founder Antonio Zambelli.
The book's in the safe here in the office. Right. Occasionally I got to call somebody to have a translator because I can't read Italian that well.
Mark Spielvogel is an artist who creates set pieces for Zambelli. The bamboo-lined designs are roughed in color and light. After years of work with Zambelli, Mark has a theory on the appeal of fireworks.
It has a lot to do with empowerment. It's, people love to be near something so dangerous, but at the same time, they know it's very safe.
My excitement is hearing the people yell after the show.
After the show is right. Donald works on one of the barges during Thunder. You'd think it'd be the best view, but...
They do not look up, and they do not see any parts of the show.
And the music they hear sounds like this.
22, 23, 24, 25.
This command track allows them to shoot the fireworks at the right time, creating the musical precision Thunder's known for. And the ultimate hallmark of this annual event, bigger and better.
The endeavor is that they want to make it larger every year, so it's this year here is going to be something very special.
And since the Zambelli family is so large, later in the show, we will have a story on the life and times of the Zambelli family.
And because the fireworks and the Zambelli have such a magnificent reputation, a lot of people want to guarantee that they get probably the best seat in the house, eh?
You know the saying, the early bird gets the worm. Well, the early Thunder goer gets the best spot. Let's check in with Stefan to find out more about that.
That's right, Bob and Kirby. The prime real estate has its price, and I am with some people that paid that price. They are the few. They are the proud. They are the Thunder Diehards. Pre-dawn, Thunder, 1995. Can I ask you what you're doing here at 6:24 in the morning, sir?
Trying to get a good spot to see the show.
I think you got a good shot at it. You look like you're the first one out here.
There's been some people here before me.
We've been down here since, what time? Since 9 or 10 last night.
And what would possess people to do this?
Oh, I love the air show, and the fireworks are great.
And you need to get out this early to get the good spot?
You have to.
It's not worth it, really. You know, it's not worth it, but we wanted something to do last night, so we came down early.
Apparently, when they were trying to come up with something to do last night, nobody suggested sleep. So what are you going to do for 10 hours?
Sunshine. Sunbathe.
You know, we might not see much of the sun today.
No, it's going to come out. It'll be here for it.
Yes, the Thunder Diehard possesses a great deal of optimism, a great deal of supplies as well. How many can this sleep?
Well, about 10 girls and 2 guys.
10 girls? Have you got a buddy with you? Now, what's going on back here? We've got, don't go too far.
The table's right here. All right, this is going to be our setup right here, and we got a lot more coming down.
Add a couple of gas grills to the mix, and you're ready to dig in for the approximately 10-hour wait for Thunder. Well, what's the fun of getting up this early if you can't have a little fun? They told us to go in and wake up the ladies. Why is it worth coming down here so early for something like this?
Well, we've invited out-of-town family. The lady up front is from California.
I can hear you laughing down there. Won't you just say 2 words to me, please?
Yes, good morning, and please leave.
That was 4 words, but we'll go. Thank you. Now, the Thunder Diehard knows not only where to get the best parking spot, but the best point of view as well. Oh, that was a little bit of a climb, huh?
Yeah.
You're right, though. It's worth it. Woo, what a view. The view really was breathtaking, as was the stench of this waste heap we were standing on. And what happened next? Well, it was truly unexplainable. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Yeah, I don't know what happened to us up there. The emotion just kind of overcame us. And now, some 14 hours later, here's our group. Let's see how they're holding up. Hey, group, how you doing? Let's hear it. Here's Tom. We talked to Tom earlier. Now, you got the 3 gas grills going. Let's whip that open and see what we got. Oh, that looks tasty.
I'm good.
When did you cook this?
About 10 hours ago.
10 hours ago. As soon as they got here, they fired up the grill. Tom, you're doing good work. And now, I want you to meet somebody special. The mystery woman. Kay was the woman I was talking to that was in the bed with the covers pulled over her head. Kay, I'm sorry to bother you this morning. How are you doing now?
I'm doing much better now.
You're looking much better.
Thank you.
It doesn't take long to primp yourself up, does it?
No, it does not. I would recognize that microphone anywhere.
And you're well rested and you're ready for Thunder, aren't you?
I'm ready, absolutely. I'm raring to go.
These people are raring to go. We're all ready, aren't we? Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Woo! From the Thunder Diehards, back to you, Bob and Kirby. I think I'm going to stay and have that brat.
All right, Stephanie, enjoy that bratwurst.
And you notice, Kirby, what's moving in right now? From
There they are.
9/11. There.
The fireworks barges are coming into position. Once they stop and we get the salute, we'll know we're about an hour away from the fireworks.
All right. We'll keep an eye on those barges as they get in position. Meanwhile, we'll have more on the first family of fireworks, the action in the air, and your chance to win tickets to the Derby as our Louisville Tonight Live Thunder preview continues after this.
Together with an 1/8 of a mile to run.
Your best bet this May? Well, we can't guarantee a winner here, but this is a sure bet. Coming up in May on Louisville Tonight Live.
Why is your mom so special? We asked and your response was overwhelming. Touching stories and terrific new looks in Thanks Mom makeovers.
If it's physical, Kirby's done it. Been there, tried it. Now she's going a step further. Watch as she introduces us to people who are taking their sports to the limit.
Champagne wishes and caviar dreams. They're being lived out right here in Kentuckiana. We'll take you inside our area's most elegant, opulent, and amazing home.
All part of your best bet for TV viewing in May on Louisville Tonight Live.
And welcome back to our special Louisville Tonight Live Thunder over Louisville preview.
Yes, we're going to be with you all the way through to the very bitter end of the fireworks tonight. But right now, let's check in with field reporter Jane McClue, who I believe is up in the Thunder Command Center.
Yep.
Thanks, Kirby. I've got more on the Pennsylvania family that plays a major role in this Derby Festival kickoff event. The Zambellis are at the center of celebrations like the 4th of July and presidential inaugurations, but this all-American fireworks company got its start in Italy.
My dad brought it here from Italy, and we've been at it since.
Antonio Zambelli came to the U.S. in 1920. Years after being welcomed by the Statue of Liberty, his family would mark the statue's centennial with one of the largest displays of fireworks ever. Antonio settled in Newcastle, Pennsylvania because the climate is similar to Naples. Over the years, the Zambelli clan grew. Son George worked in the business long before his 1946 marriage. In fact, his sister Conchetta says work was all George seemed to do.
Well, he was always home. That's one thing. He never went out to play much. Always work, work, work.
More marriages and the arrival of a new generation of Zambelli kids meant more help for the family business. George's niece Lucille remembers labeling fireworks shells.
So we would put them in a wheelbarrow, label the shells, reload them on the wheelbarrow, and then take them to wherever they needed to go. We never knew how dangerous it was.
That danger caught up with the Zambellis in 1950. Brother-in-law Sam died after an explosion at the plant.
You know, to this day, we don't know exactly what happened.
In the 90s, safety is the hallmark of Zambelli Productions.
You're dealing with explosives, so you handle them with care. You handle them as if they were eggs or a baby. You just treat them the way they should be treated.
Michael's own babies sometimes accompany him to work. Michael and Constance Richards are Zambelli grandchildren. Their mom, Ann Lynn, works alongside her mother in Newcastle. Sister Dana Beth joined the family for dinner while we were there, but she's usually in the Florida office with Sister Marcy.
Several of the Zambelli children who have careers outside the family business are still close at hand. They share office space here at Zambelli headquarters.
You showed them all a good job. You do brushing your teeth, huh?
Folks in the third-floor dentist's office are waiting for Dr. Donna Lou Zambelli. She's not the only doctor in the house. George Jr. is an ophthalmologist with offices on a different floor. And what about the next generation? George says he hears this happy threat a lot.
Grandpa, we're going to take over your business, so you never know.
Now, there are a number of Zambellis in town for this big event. This is Wayne Hedinger. He's the producer of Thunder. He's not a Zambelli, though. Interestingly enough, Bob and Kirby, though the Zambellis have been in town for 5 Thunders, they've never been to the Kentucky Derby.
That is amazing.
Maybe they'll show up this year. What do you think? You know what I think is really neat is that the doctors and the dentist both stay in the same building as the rest of the family.
You know what I say, Kerb?
What do you say, Bob?
A family that all works together in the same building has a much less rent payment at the end of the month.
A much lower rent payment,
Much
you're right.
lower.
Okay. Well, you know, the people come out here, everyone's out here to see the fireworks tonight, but that's not the only reason they show up along the banks of the Ohio.
That's right. It's the air show. It brings almost as much excitement during the day as the fireworks bring at night.
Wow, this is great.
Thousands fill the new Belvedere deck along the Ohio as the Thunder Air Show took to the skies. For some, it was a question of trying to figure out what they were watching. You guys know who those are?
No.
You guys know what those are?
No.
No? Can you say the word aerobatic?
Aerobatic.
Aerobatic. Aerobatic. There are 3 of them. You know that, though, right?
Yeah.
Good. You guys know what those planes are?
No. Bombers?
What are they?
Bombers?
Bombers?
Maybe. I don't
Bombers? You
know.
think they're bombers?
No.
You think they're jets?
Yep.
Yeah, but they've got propellers.
They do?
Yeah.
They're helicopters.
Yeah, actually they are T-6 training planes and the North American Air Team. Another favorite and the final appearance of the Eagle Aerobatic Team. They're retiring this year. 10-year-old Jason Rice did an outstanding job describing their complicated aerobatic maneuvers. And what?
Then they're going back up again?
Have you thought about doing this professionally?
No.
While one air team was busy flying, another grill team was busy doing something else. How many people, Chef LP, you plan to feed today?
We're going to do 2,000 people for the night's done.
While the planes were in the air, you were eating?
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm just eating away and watching them, and I didn't even see you coming up.
Surprise. The beauty of the Lima Lima Air Team was more than enough to bring a wow from the crowd. Of course, some of these youngsters were here for another reason. Blair, you got a great seat. You can see all the fireworks. Why did you bring this TV?
To see Bob and Kirby.
Very good, Blair. Here you go. Thank you.
You got him to say that for only $1. That's pretty amazing.
You know, like tonight, their money is no object, quite frankly, Kirby. I would even venture to buy you a Diet Coke this evening.
You are a big spender.
Spend the budget, I say. All right. Hey, by the way, 27 planes, or planes from 27 states arrived in town for this beautiful air show today. We should tell you, it's all been magnificent. The crowd was very excited.
And by the looks of the people, I would say that they really did enjoy those aircrafts.
All right, taking a look now as the barges are coming into place. We'll continue to keep an update as the Louisville Tonight Live special preview of Thunder over Louisville continues.
Only WHAS 11 brings you the Kentucky Oaks, the Derby for fillies. Gary Rodemeyer, Melissa Swan, and Kay Wood-Ledford anchor exclusive live coverage of the 6th and 7th races. Then the 121st running of the Kentucky Oaks. Oaks Day at the Downs, Friday, May 5th at 4. Only on WHAS 11. Tune elsewhere, won't be there.
In a newspaper ad, all you have to do is...
Lazy Boy Semi-Annual Warehouse Sale.
And welcome back to Louisville Tonight Live's preview to Thunder. As you can see, there are the barges bringing the fireworks into position here on the Ohio. I'm Kirby Adams.
And I'm Bob Sokoler. 38 tons this year compared to 32 tons last year. Of course, people come to see the fireworks here, but that's not the only reason.
That's right. To tell us more about the sights and sounds around town, here's field reporter Roseanne Rogers, who's standing by on the Belvedere.
All right, thanks, Bob and Kirby. Well, the fireworks don't start till the sun goes down, but as you can see from the Belvedere, lots of folks come out early. But what do they do besides stand and sit around until the fireworks start? Well, as I found out early this afternoon, there's plenty to do while you wait.
Get your onion blossoms right here. You guys will love them. Come get your T-shirts here.
Grilled corn. Anybody want to buy some grilled corn?
Very good, very good. Well, one thing is for certain, everyone is eating. What you kicking up?
This is char siu ribs. They're Chinese barbecue. They're from Montford, and we're the grill team.
So you guys think you're going to sell lots of snow cones today?
No, too cold.
Too cold? So what about the cotton candy?
I don't know.
What flavors you have?
Raspberry and I think cherry. No, pink vanilla. Pink vanilla and raspberry.
So, how did it taste?
Best I've ever had.
You highly recommend this?
It'll work, yeah. For $1, it'll work.
There's some great T-shirts. What do you guys have here?
All kinds of stuff. We've got long sleeve T-shirts.
Which are probably very popular today.
Very popular. We've got sweatshirts over there.
Do you have Thunder and Festival shirts?
Both Thunder and Festival. And this is a very unique T-shirt. It's called a wraparound T-shirt. It's got it on the front and back.
Hey, you guys, where's all the Thunder stuff? Don't you have Thunder souvenirs?
No.
No? You got Power Rangers, but there's no Thunder stuff.
No, we don't got no fun stuff. We just got stuff for kids.
So what are you doing while you're waiting for the fireworks?
We're chatting and watching all the airplanes and watching all the people and having a great time.
Do a little light reading while you're waiting?
Yeah. Why waste time? I thought I'd read. Some people I know will show up eventually, but they won't be here for a while. So I thought I'd get here before the crush and the crowd. And
I think you got a good spot.
Yeah, you know, it's a lovely day, the weather and all.
Well, these folks have been here since 4:30, but I have to tell you, when I did that story at 2 o'clock, there was no one out here. In fact, the people that you saw in my story were practically the only people that were out at the Belvedere. I was just wondering, though, I wonder if the Thunder diehards that Steppen met earlier, I wonder if they're wishing they had a good night's sleep right about now. Back to you, Bob and Kirby.
Thanks, Roseanne. Maybe like a nice fire, too.
Yeah, well, speaking of fireworks right now, take a look at the barges are moving into position. We've been hearing thunder from those barges.
That's right. It's the salute, and that means that we are about 1 hour away from the largest fireworks display ever in the history of Louisville, the largest fireworks display in the United States.
As we watch the barges move into position, we ask the question, will Louisville Tonight Live be sending you to the Derby this year?
How can you win tickets to the Preakness? The answer's revealed as our Thunder preview continues. Don't go away.
On Louisville Tonight Live.
And welcome back to the Louisville Tonight Thunder preview. Now, we all know that Thunder is the kickoff to the Derby Festival, which all wraps up with the Run for the Roses.
And we're going to give you a chance right now to win 2 tickets to Derby 121. Ladies, if you would, spin the drum.
Dun, dun,
one
dun.
time. Open it up, reach in deep, pull out a
tickets
name.
to Derby 121. This is a great deal. And the winner is, read the name, Bob.
Elizabeth Avery of Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Congratulations,
Shelbyville,
Elizabeth.
Kentucky.
Shelbyville, Kentucky. Elizabeth
That's
Avery.
right. Okay, lucky
Very
woman.
good.
By the way, do not worry if you didn't win that. Louisville Tonight Live would like to give you the chance to win tickets to the second jewel in the Triple Crown, the Preakness.
That's right. You're going to receive 2 round-trip tickets, plus airfare to Baltimore, hotel accommodations to the beautiful Stouffer Hotel, and also 2 tickets to the Preakness at Pimlico. Oh, you can see that. You see it now there. The barges are in position. The kids here in front of us are screaming because, of course, they believe the thunder is starting right now. Of course, we know it's still 1 hour away.
All right, so that's it. Be sure to tune in to find out more about those Preakness tickets on Monday on Louisville Tonight Live. That's it for the Louisville Tonight Live crew.
There's still more WHAS Channel 11 coverage of Thunder over Louisville to come. Take a break, relax, sit back. In just a minute, we'll join you with Thunder over Louisville.
Smith presents the rest of... Welcome to Thunder over Louisville and the opening ceremonies of the Kentucky Derby Festival, live from the riverfront in Louisville, Kentucky. Thunder over Louisville is sponsored by Kroger, always on the cutting edge. By Coca-Cola, always refreshing, always Coca-Cola. By Paramount, life should be so simple. By Louis Rich, switch to Rich, Louis Rich. And by UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on. The Emmy Award-winning coverage of Thunder over Louisville is an exclusive production of WHAS TV. Now, here are your hosts, Kirby Adams and Bob Segoler.
Hello and welcome to Thunder over Louisville 1995. I'm Kirby Adams.
And I'm Bob Segoler, and we're coming to you live from the northeast corner of the beautiful Belvedere on this very chilly and, quite frankly, cold Saturday evening.
But hey, it's not raining, and we love that.
Thank goodness it's not raining, but boy, we could use a couple of coats right now. But let me tell you, folks, you're sitting at home right now. You have got, quite frankly, the best seat in the house for Thunder 95.
That's right. Although I must say, there are 600,000 people out here joining us, all bundled up in their snow jackets with blankets, with gloves. I'm ready to pay some big money to get some of those from some of them. Hey, but if you're at home, you are going to get to see some fantastic things tonight. You are going to see the wonderful helmet cam mounted on the very brave skydivers, and of course you're going to see the largest fireworks display in the world and a lot of the earlier activities today. So lots of great things coming your way.
And you're looking right now at some of the boats that are joining us here in the Ohio River as they are standing by, as everyone else who have lined the banks of the Ohio, ready for Thunder over Louisville, which is just about an hour away right now. And we're going to check in with Thunder 95 reporters. First one to check in with is a woman who has been on maternity leave for a couple of months.
And we welcome her back.
Absolutely. In fact, she rejoins the morning news this coming Monday, but right now she has come in a little early to help us with our coverage. Mom, Rachel Platt. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Thanks, Bob and Kirby. I'm going to be cruising up and down the Ohio River on the Thunderboat. We're going to give you a boat's eye view of everything going on land and here on the water. Then a little later on, we're going to climb aboard the skydiving landing barge. We're going to talk to the team leader as the skydivers drop out of the sky from about 5,000 feet here on Mother Earth. We hope to be the first to greet them. A little later on, we're going to move upriver to get our view of the big fireworks show. Hopefully, I'm going to catch a glimpse of my morning partner, Mr. Barry Burnson, up on the 2nd Street Bridge. Barry, how's it going?
Hi, Rach. I see you down there on the river far below. You know that Garth Brooks song, Standing Outside the Fire? Well, we're going to be standing inside the fire on the George Rogers Clark Bridge of the 2nd Street Bridge tonight. There's nothing up here except me, photographer Brian Derby behind the camera, and some pigeons, and the cold wind. But after things get going, 9,000 shells are going to be fired off this bridge below us, next to us, above us. I'm just trying not to step on any wires and set anything off prematurely. You know, I got to get up early Monday. What do they put me up here again on the bridge for goodness sake? When am I going to get a cushy job like Terry Miner's over in the Thunder Command Center?
We're on. Oh, listen, Burnson, you're going to have to capture one of those pigeons and send it up here, because I'm really hankering for one now. I've got free food, free drinks, and I'm here in the command center where they run the entire show. It's fantastic. My only dilemma this evening is I can't find any gray poupon. If you find some over on the bridge, send it over here. We'll be here. I've got an 8-year-old friend named Jason who's going to come up and push the button at 9:30 tonight, and we'll get this thing started, get the fireworks launched. Up here in the command center, Cush Central. Thank you. I'll stay right here. Now, let's go way down 24 floors onto the Belvedere for Julie Koenig. Hey, Julie, here's a sandwich for you.
That's right. Unfortunately, no Grey Poupon for you, Terry. Yes, we're down here with the corn dogs, the elephant ears, and, of course, my favorite place, the Pizza Hut. Anyway, we're also among all the masses gathered for another great Thunder over Louisville. We'll bring you all the oohs and ahs from the crowd and save a little junk food for you, too. Back to you, Bob and Kirby.
Thanks, Julie. Love your new haircut. And Bob, don't get any ideas. You're not going down there to sample all the Foods Fest stuff just yet.
You know, now that I'm in that training for those bike rides, I'm not that big on food anymore. That's right.
All right, now, in addition to those 4 camera positions, we also have 11 more cameras covering just about every area. Not just about, every single area, so you can see this fireworks extravaganza at its best.
All right, now let's take a look around there. First, we're going to go to the deck of the floating restaurant, Tugboat Annie's. That's going to come to you in a moment from Jeffersonville.
Right now, we're looking down on us from the 18th floor terrace of the Galt House is photographer Jeff Gard. He'll provide us with sweeping and panoramic shots of the entire waterfront area. Hey, Jeff,
yeah, wave high one more time. There you go. Okay.
Sporting a brand new look, our own Sky 11 will provide us with some breathtaking aerial shots from the camera lens of Pete Loington flying along with pilot Bob Poe today. Hey, stay out of the way of that B-1 bomber, guys.
All right, on the deck of the floating restaurant Tugboat Annie's, there we go in Jeffersonville. Photographer Todd Newman will provide us with some great views of the skyline and close-ups of 2nd Street Bridge. Very nice looking video there, guys.
And photographer Todd Eckloff is stationed directly across from us at the Ashland Oil Pier with a head-on shot of downtown Louisville, as well as a view of the thousands of folks who have crowded into Ashland Park in Jeffersonville.
All right, now photographer Karen Bybee is set way downriver from us. That's underneath the 9th Street Bridge overpass that her camera viewpoint is, and will be showing us her camera's perspective of activities on that end of the riverfront and also the skyline. A beautiful skyline it is.
And here comes one of my very favorite shots. We're glad to welcome back our crane camera operator, Roger Holliday, and photographer Lynn Todd for sweeping aerial shots of the show and of the crowds gathered with us on the Belvedere.
And what would our coverage of Thunder be without 5-year veteran Donnie Rourke risking life and limb out on the fireworks launching barge to provide us with close-up shots of thousands of pyrotechnics exploding from their casings. Be careful there, will you, Donnie?
A brave man. And a brand new camera angle is being shot by photographer Tony Wailata from the Trinity Towers in downtown Louisville, which should show us just how huge those fireworks are as they break behind the skyscrapers.
And just look at that for a second, how beautiful that shot really will be and is right now. And a quick hello to Greg Kalin and Howard Hoffman behind shooting us here on the set. And there you can see those guys there. Make us look good, guys. And quite frankly, in my case, that's probably very difficult to do.
Oh, please, Bob.
Yes, come on now. All right, Thunder over Louisville 1995 is also proud to acknowledge 2 very special anniversaries, of course. This is the 40th anniversary of the Kentucky Derby Festival.
And this is also the 50th anniversary of the end of World War II. And the entire show tonight is dedicated to those brave men and women that fought in World War II and American Thunder.
All right, now joining us is Captain Dan Clark, who's joining us because you actually have had a very busy day earlier. For those who are here and for those who are watching at home, you were flying in the F-15 above us.
That's right, the F-15 demo that the Air Force put on about 5:45 this afternoon.
In fact, I think we've got some videotape of exactly what you did. You really startled this crowd out of just relaxing. All of a sudden, bam! You're pulling how many G's now here, Captain?
In the pull right there, we pulled about 7.5 G's on the initial break.
But that goes up to about 8 G's?
In the hard turn, you pull between 8 and 8.5 Gs, which for me is about 1,700 pounds.
Coming out of a loop, you're doing what, about 200 to 600 miles an hour?
You come out of the bottom of the loop there that we did, you're running about 500 knots, which is about 550 miles an hour.
That's pretty good. And to keep the blood from rushing out of your brain, how are you doing that, a G-suit?
We have a number of things that we take with us, one of which is a anti-exposure G-suit that keeps the blood pressure up higher in your chest to keep you awake most of the time.
Amazing.
You don't want to go to sleep while you're flying one of those.
Not a chance.
I was fortunate to fly in on the B-24 yesterday, and I had a little chance to sleep. We didn't pull any G's. It wasn't bad at all. All right, right now let's check in with Julie Koenig while we wait for the next aircraft. How about that?
Should be coming in any second. Julie, you got time to talk to us for a second?
Yes, I think I do. You know, I don't think I've been this cold since the storm of '94. Let's hope we don't have any snow in the forecast for this evening. You mentioned that the Derby Festival is 40 years old this year, and I have two folks with me who are doing everything they can to make sure this is one of the best festivals ever. This is Dan Magent, who is currently the CEO and president of the Derby Festival, and this is Marlon Smith, who is the 1995 chairwoman. Marlon, Thunder, obviously the kickoff to 2 weeks of a lot of activities. Tell us what else we can look forward to this year.
Well, one of our new events is a softball tournament. Of course, as you know, we still have the volleyball going. The next thing, of course, the chow wagons are open now, and then our hole-in-one is going. So please go down there and try to get a hole-in-one. I understand someone got a hole-in-one yesterday. Is that correct? And then they had another one that was about 2 inches from the cup, and then they had a tie for the next one. There were 2 people that tied. So we're trying to really get everything going so everyone can have a wonderful time.
It sounds like it's as close as the race always is every year. All right, thank you very much, Marlon. And Dan tells me that he was flying up above, looking down at this massive crowd today. What was that like up in the sky today, Dan?
Oh, it was great. I was flying around up there seeing these hundreds of thousands of people coming down to enjoy these fireworks. It was a great view, a little windy up there today, and I think it's windy here. You should have gone up there.
Now, hundreds of thousands of folks come here. They also bring hundreds of thousands of dollars with us, or with them. Tell me, how many dollars come into the community because of the festival?
We estimate our economic impact is somewhere around $34.5 million for the 10 days. That's money that other people spend in this community during festival time, so we're very happy about that.
All right, Dan, Marlon, thank you for joining us, and thanks for making this such a great festival. Back to you, Bob and Kirby.
All right, thanks very much, Julie, and we're back with Captain Clark, who has been flying the F-15 all day. We just saw some planes go by, I believe.
And I think it was Lima Lima that we just saw fly over?
That was the 6th ship in formation of the Lima Lima. It's a group of privately owned aircraft. You can see them coming back around in another pass this time. A bunch of civilians fly those together, join up on the weekends, and tour to different air shows.
Wasn't they in Florida last year, or last week as a matter of fact?
Last week, 2 weeks ago, when I was at a show in Florida, they were in Florida.
The group's from Illinois, I believe, Naperville, Illinois, my home state. So these guys have to be great pilots.
You know, Cap, we should point out also that this year the theme for Thunder is an American Thunder, and a special salute is being made to the men and women who actively or formally serve in armed forces, and in recognition of the 50th anniversary of the end of World War II, and we thought it was worth saluting that tonight.
I sort of think it is too. As you know, there are a number of U.S. servicemen, not only at home, but at abroad, doing really fine things for the country, and things that would make each of us proud if we really knew what they were doing.
And in light of what we have just seen happen in Oklahoma City, I think we all realize how important national security really is.
And important is also the fact that a little later on tonight we're going to have a tribute to what happened and a memorial and remembering what happened in Oklahoma. That's coming up a little later on. All right, I think as we see Lima Lima fly over one more time, those are busy guys. They were out here earlier today. A couple of fireworks being shot off right now. Again, just to be putting the barge in position. Why don't we head upstairs, if he is ready, with a guy who, quite frankly, always had his head up in the clouds.
Oh, he's not going to like that. Terry Miners.
Hi, Kirb and Bob. Having a great time up here in the command center. This is where it all happens. The brains of the operation are here, and the mayor for life is watching over it all.
Yeah, we're right on top of it, literally.
We're ready to go.
It's where it's at.
Now, you said hi to Jason here a minute ago.
I did say, Jason, you're the man.
He's going to push the button in a few minutes.
He's the Thunderman. I want to know the name of his barber so that you can work with him. Get a little cut around his
I can use one of those, too.
That'd be good.
All right, listen, everything's under control out in the streets.
But if he doesn't get it, if he doesn't light the wick, then are we ready?
We're the backup system right here.
I like it. I like
We're going to sing our song?
This is
All we are saying is give Thunder a chance.
That was good. That was good.
Everything's going well, Thunder, this year, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, things are great. The crowd is wonderful. The people are really, really being very neighborly and positive and helping each other. And
give me a hug! Come on, give me a hug!
It's wonderful. I mean, did I say it was wonderful?
I'm sure you can.
It's
oh, wait, it is fantastic! Back to you downstairs.
You crazy guys. You know, people are being very neighborly. I have been offered a number of blankets tonight. I only wish I could use them.
Now, you'll just stay in the beautiful, beautiful Thunder over Louisville sweatshirts that I'm sure are being sold somewhere around town here today. Also, Captain, again, this man, as well as other crews, travel around the country taking in air shows and demonstrating what American's Air Force is all about.
Actually, the purpose of the air show circuit for the military is to showcase aircraft, military defense aircraft, their capabilities, and showcase the Air Force way of life a bit. Maybe you don't know it, in 2 weeks I'm going to Florida to get back away from this cold weather, and hopefully the air show circuit will stay in the warm weather.
He's a smart man.
For the next few months.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thanks
We're
for having
so glad
me.
you're here in Louisville.
Okay.
And we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to take a dream flight in a vintage World War II Warbird.
Also, as we go to this commercial break, we'll give you a look at the B-1 bomber that we saw earlier in the day. Also, some tanks that are arriving and have arrived in Louisville. There's the B-1 bomber. As the military hardware is on hand, and Thunder over Louisville continues. And welcome back to WHAS TV's exclusive live coverage of Thunder over Louisville. I'm Bob Sokoler, along with
Kirby Adams. We're so glad you're here with us tonight. You're warm, I imagine, if you're at home.
the temperature. We're trying to guess out here, what, about 40 degrees or so?
At least.
Without the wind chill factor.
Hot out here.
Yeah, maybe the lights will warm us up a little bit. I'm not quite sure that's going to happen. Now,
Hey, Bob, some quick trivia for you.
Yeah, I was going to
How
ask
many
you.
states have the planes come to Thunder over Louisville from?
27.
And how many states have the Thunderpots arrived from?
12. 12. Oh, good. You got me on that
And
one.
how many countries do we have fireworks being provided from?
Thousands. Thousands of. Thousands of them.
Seven different countries.
Ask me how many people are here tonight.
How many people are here tonight, Bob?
600,000 people are here tonight, Kerb.
That man is very smart.
That's true.
That's
All right,
why he's sitting next to me.
That's right. Only I could be able to do that because certainly.
No,
the
I need you
brilliance-
here.
The
All right.
brilliance of Kirby
Go
Adams.
on.
All right. Let me just tell you, folks, that Kirby has had an incredible week, among which you flew.
I did.
In what?
You're going to see it right now. You might say my assignment took me to new heights. Celebrating 50 years after the end of World War II, they come by land, they come by air, America's finest from 27 different states. But behind every tank, every jet, and every bomber that comes into town, there's a real-life person behind the controls.
Oh, the walk around. Well, we look for anything that's obviously wrong. It's a check of the outside of the airplane.
Colonel Walt Hogan flew the B-24 Liberator in the Second World War. Today, he volunteers his time and skill to keep the spirit of the plane alive as he tours the country with the old warbird.
I enjoy flying the airplane. I enjoy being around it. So every year when time permits, I try to take a couple of weeks as a volunteer and go with the team from place to place in order to allow the public to see the airplanes.
Restored by the Collins Foundation for $1,400,000, the B-24 tours with another restoration project, the B-17 Flying Fortress. Every couple of days, it's a new city or town. In Bristol, Tennessee, we jump on board for the ride up to Louisville. It's a bumpy, noisy, windy hour and a half up to the Thunder celebrations. But with only a handful of these rare remnants of our country's aviation history left, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This is the back of the B-24, and I'm headed for the rear gun turret, I think it's called. Oh, dear. It's kind of scary. I'm just sitting out in a ball out here, outside the plane. Jeez. Well, you get the idea. It seems like you had to be really tiny to fit in this plane. There's a lot to see and many stories to tell about the old warbirds that fought the Second World War. And as long as there are people like Colonel Walt Hogan to fly them, we'll all be able to enjoy these museums with wings. All right, we're back. That was a great flight. I enjoyed that. And thanks to everybody who flies in all those planes, brings in all the military hardware.
It looked like it was a bit bumpy, though, while you were up there.
It was a little bumpy, but hey, I suppose the people that were out on the Star had a great ride tonight.
They just docked. I think they're going back out again a little later to watch the fireworks from the river. We're looking around now at some of the 15 different camera locations that we've got set up to bring you thunder over Louisville tonight, including a couple of new shots to show you a perspective of the fireworks as they are seen from the city of Louisville and over Louisville. Also tonight, we should tell you that there are some 100 World War II searchlight beams that will be part of Thunder. Now, normally they have, and you see some of the crowd people reacting, some people in the
And there are how many out here tonight, Bob?
600,000, we are told by
That's
the
right.
most recent crowd.
Hey, every year for the last 5 years, folks have come out here and had a wonderful time. We've had a great time putting it on. Right now, let's take a look at some of the highlights from Thunder over Louisville.
Within the mists of the Ohio River, through the pages of fiction, comes a show so overpowering, so overwhelming, the skies become fantasy.
Over 26,000 tons of fireworks, 150 tons of equipment. It's going to be the greatest.
I don't know if you know this, but I did fly the blimp.
Again, I'm breathless. I just can't describe what I'm feeling right now.
And we're going to be as close to this as you can get.
They're saying bigger and better.
This is the fun stuff.
Fantastic. That was something. The B1 from there all the way to the end, it was just super.
I don't know what to say. I'm left a little speechless.
The first blast of the howitzers just blew me away. Is Thunder over Louisville? Is it over yet? Is it over yet? Has it started yet? It was phantomous.
That became a catchphrase.
I've never heard Barry Burnson speechless before.
Well, we're looking right now from Sky 11 at 65 southbound of traffic heading into Louisville, and among the people in the crowd down there somewhere is Julie Koenig. Julie, take it away.
Hi again, Bob and Kirby. I am joined with some of my new friends on the Belvedere here, a bunch of kids, most of them from Louisville. Some have seen Thunder before, some have not. This will be their very first year. So let's find out what some of the best things are to look forward to. You said you've seen it before. What's your favorite part of Thunder?
The fireworks.
The fireworks, which, like the bridge, or what do you like best?
Yeah, the bridge, like all the bridge.
So watch the bridge, and this guy tells me he had a great vantage point last year. Where were you?
On the barge.
How did you swing that?
Well, his dad got me on.
So even when you're 12 years old, it's who you know, folks. It's who you know. And look, he can still hear, so that's a good sign. Anyway, we're going to check back with this crowd after the show to find out if this was a great thunder, a so-so thunder. We think it's going to be great. Now, everybody, who's ready for the fireworks to begin? We are! All right, we're ready. All right, back to you, Bob and Kirby.
All right, thanks, Julie and gang. You know, Bob, what actually started as a small fireworks show 6 years ago at Cardinal Stadium has now turned into the largest fireworks show in the entire world.
You know, Kerb, to bring an event like this together requires the equipment and apparatus brought from all over the United States. In fact, Barry Burnson tells us more in what must be a riveting report.
Hey, a show honoring the 50th anniversary of the end of World War II, it's only appropriate that putting together something like that requires a military-style operation. So let's show you what the producers of this event have to plan for a year in advance. Now, the humongous sound systems are pretty much homegrown, 425,000 watts of power brought in from Indiana and Kentucky. But those big laser light trucks, they have to come all the way from there. Washington State, which when we last looked was in the Pacific Northwest. Then, more than 100 searchlights that stab the darkness, making Louisville look like London during the Blitz. Well, those beams come not only from around here, but from all over this region, half a dozen other states. And we hope you went before you left the house tonight, but if you didn't, the famous Thunder Pots. 425 of them are visiting Louisville from 11 states in this whole region of the country, some from as far away as Pennsylvania. Now, those are some traveling toilets. The biggest ever air show is put together using dozens of planes from 19 states, including New York, California, Florida, and a bunch of other fine states whose names I cannot remember. But the widest ranging operation is food and food services. Thunder Watchers are chowing down from 170 food booths, and they come from all these little squares as far away as Iowa, Arkansas, New Jersey, even Shively and Okolona. And speaking of foreign countries, did you know the fireworks themselves come not only from the Zambelli's factory in Pennsylvania, but from China, Taiwan, France, Brazil, Spain, Italy. Now, if you take all the places that supply hardware for one thunder over Louisville and connect all these dots, you end up with a profile of Bob Sokoler. Look at that. Is this a great event or what?
I think you're right, Barry.
Next year, Barry does weather, strictly weather. Hey, as we gaze up into the night sky, we're seeing no other than Bill Leff and his Starfire night aerial.
Let's give him a salute. Salute.
Very good.
All right.
Stick around. We've got a lot more thunder over Louisville.
Including a very special salute to all of you veterans out there watching. Stay with us.
For many,
Act is one of the most popular at Thunder every single year. Welcome back to all of you to Thunder over Louisville 95 here on the riverfront. I'm Kirby Adams.
And I'm Bob Sokoler. And earlier in our broadcast, you saw some of the military aircraft that were flying over Louisville as Thunder over Louisville proceeded.
There are a total of 75 aircraft here today, and many of the aerobatic aces thrilled the crowds earlier today. Let's take a look.
you know, I got to wonder here, everyone has their favorites, and as the planes came in, the crowd was oohing and eyeing.
What was your favorite?
I think the B-1 had to be my favorite. How about you?
That was your favorite?
I think
All right,
it was.
I think my favorite had to be the B-24 since I got to fly it. And Colonel Walt Hogan is up there in that. He's one of my favorites. All right, right now, another one of my favorites. We're going to throw it out to Barry Burnson, who's, whoa, there goes. It's a little windy out here, folks. Barry Burnson standing by, I believe.
Well, Bob and Kirby, we are on the 2nd Street Bridge, and of course, you know, Thunder over Louisville is about fireworks, and it's about essentially, watch out, there he goes. It's essentially kind of a low-tech thing. I mean, you light the fire under a firecracker, and it goes up in the air and makes a big thing, but high-tech is what Mark Christensen's about. He's with, what's the name of the company?
Well, we're Laser Fantasy International, and we're out of Seattle. We've made a long trip down, but we're extremely excited to come down and do the event. We've heard all about it and excited to set off what we're going to do as a part of the show.
Now, what do your lasers actually do? What are people going to see?
Well, what you'll see is essentially entertainment's brightest laser. It was developed by Laser Fantasy, and we're really the only ones in the world using the system. It's the same laser that was seen at the Super Bowl at halftime. Except there you had one laser, here you've got 4 of them, so we're going to see 4 times what we saw at the Super Bowl right here in Louisville.
All right, we're looking at the tubes right there. These are the big tubes that we just showed you. Some of these things, we won't be standing here when these fireworks go up like this, because these tubes are going to be very hot. And so are the lasers, and you said that they are visible miles and miles away from here.
Yeah, this is an extremely amazing laser. In city applications like this, you can see it 10 to 15 miles away. In remote areas in the deserts, we've seen it 50 miles away. And what you'll actually see, if it's parallel to the horizon, you'll see a green beam streaking by you that's about that big. And you'll wonder where it's coming from and where it's going to. You can't see either end. So it's quite an amazing tool for us, and we're happy to show it off. It's going to be fun.
It's kind of like my paycheck. I don't know where it's coming from or where it's going to, but we're here anyway. Mark, go take care of the lasers, and we'll stay out of the way.
Thank you very much. Take care.
All right, Mark. From Laser Fantasy International, just one of the exciting things that will be happening here on the bridge. Right now, we're trying to get these pigeons. They're nesting above us in the girders overhead. Bob and Kirby, we don't know what to do.
How about covering your head, Barry, for starters?
I'm sure Bob would have some kind of recipe or formula for that, though.
We'll work on that.
The answer man. All right, we are just moments away from the largest fireworks display on the planet, I'm quite sure.
There's lots more coverage of Thunder over Louisville, including what it's like to jump 5,000 feet.
Madeline!
Madeline Reynolds. Madeline's about to sleep, though,
She's having a good time.
Wait till the
Madeline,
fireworks start.
wave.
She will wake up. Stick with us.
There you
More
are.
coverage.
Oh.
More to come in a minute.
In Kentucky, on the first Saturday in May.
To our exclusive coverage of Thunder over Louisville 95.
Absolutely. Right now, let's dash it out to Rachel Platt, who's standing by on one of the skydiving barges with Jamie Gum.
That's right. As a matter of fact, Jamie's looking up. Where's Dale?
Yeah.
Talk to us. All right, he's on his way down, right?
Dale, where are you, baby?
We know he's there, Jamie.
Dale, are you there? He might be sitting there. Looking good, looking good.
Good deal, good deal.
What does he say about the view?
How's the view look?
What's he saying now?
He's telling us that he said it looks beautiful from up there. He said he can't believe the barge. He said, God, it's great. So can you tell us, what else can you tell us from up there?
Looking good.
Looking good, looking good.
Now we've got helmet cam on Jim Bedway.
Right.
I don't know if we can pick up the pictures or not.
Dale, where's helmet cam? Is Jim up there? Here we go. We've got him up here right now. That's helmet
great.
cam. That's Jim showing us a view of what he's seeing up there. And if you look up, the guy's literally coming over our heads.
Oh, here he is. First one down. Now, is this Dale?
That's my game.
All right. Okay, who's the second one down, Jamie?
The second one will be Dale. So watch him any second. You'll be able to see him coming over our heads. He's right up above us.
All right, here comes number 2.
Number 2's coming in. Here comes Dale right here over our heads, guys.
All right, and as soon as he lands, let's grab him over here. Bob and Kirby, at any point, if you need to take it back, just interrupt me.
Well, we're watching as he comes down there. Rachel, stay with you for a couple seconds more.
Okay, we'll try and get Dale over here as soon as he lands.
All right, very good.
That's Dale Gum.
I I'd love to see that helmet cam also. Isn't that something?
We'll try and turn him around and get him over here.
Just landing. Okay, go ahead and talk to him.
Jim Bedway, here comes helmet cam. All right, here comes Dale. It takes a while.
In his fireproof suit. Looks like he's wearing ski boots.
All right.
It's a slow
All right,
walk
let's
over.
talk to Mike. How about we'll go to Mike? All right, Mike, tell us what it's like coming down.
It's pretty thrilling, real exciting, the roar of the crowd.
And look at this.
Fantastic.
All
Great
right.
time.
Thank you very much. Great job. Bob and Kirby, back to you.
Look at that.
Those are the fireworks on the sides of the barges to signify a safer turn of our skydivers. More fireworks. And right now we are preparing for a tribute that has been planned especially for tonight's show because of the recent events that occurred in Oklahoma. They'll be coming up in just a couple of minutes, Kirk.
Right now, please stand by for a special announcement from the Thunder Command.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Please, ladies and gentlemen, let me have your attention for a very important announcement. On this great day of celebration, our hearts are also deeply saddened by the recent tragedy in Oklahoma City. Let us send a message with our silence that will speak louder than all of the words that seem so terribly insignificant in this time of national mourning. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand silent for a moment of tribute to our fellow Americans in Oklahoma in their time of great pain and struggle. Ladies and gentlemen, a moment of silence, please.
I was born on July 4th, 1776. And the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run through my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I am 243 million living souls, and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I am Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard around the world. I am Washington, Jefferson, and Molly Pitcher. I am John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, and Davy Crockett. I am Lee and Grant and Abe Lincoln. I remember the Elm, the Maine, and Pearl Harbor. When freedom called, I answered and stayed until it was over there. I left my heroic dead in Flanders fields, on the rocks of Corregidor, the bleak slopes of Korea, and in the steaming jungles of Vietnam. The Brooklyn Bridge, the wheat fields of Kansas, and the granite hills of Vermont. I am the coal mines of the Virginias and the bluegrass of Kentucky. The Golden Gate and the Grand Canyon. I am Independence Hall, the spirit of St. Louis, and a footprint on the moon. I am big. I sprawl from the Atlantic to the Pacific. My arms reach out to embrace Alaska and Hawaii. More than 3 million square miles throbbing with industry and technology. I am more than 2 million farms. I am forest, field, mountain, and desert. I am quiet villages and cities that never sleep. You can look at me and see Ben Franklin, Betsy Ross, Babe Ruth, and the World Series. I am 170,000 schools and colleges, and over 260,000 churches and synagogues, where my people worship God as they think best. I'm a ballot dropped into a box, and an editorial in a newspaper. I am the roar of a crowd in a stadium, and the voice of a choir in a cathedral. I am Mark Twain and Stephen Foster, Tom Edison, Albert Einstein, and Walt Disney. I am the Wright brothers, Will Rogers and Bob Hope. I am Henry Ford, Jonas Salk, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and Krista McAuliffe. Yes, I am the nation, and these are the things I am. I was conceived in freedom, and God willing, in freedom I will spend the rest of my days. Proud to be American.
Very moving indeed.
Beautiful.
Beautiful,
Yes.
you know, and it just really brings home the fact when you stop and think for just a moment and pause about what America is all about and what the freedoms that we have here in the United States that are not afforded to people in other parts of the country, and just to think,
the world,
how important that what we're doing here tonight, celebrating our independence, our freedom, and certainly the events that we're allowed to have here in the United States.
All right now we're going to go back to the PA for a very special salute to all our World War II veterans.
This, of course, in honor of the 50th anniversary of the end of World War II.
Okay, so we have a few more moments until...
And we're looking at some 600,000 people, some of them that have arrived here tonight. And just to give you an idea of comparison, as we're getting ready for the World War II tributes, believe it or not, Indianapolis 500, they only have 500,000 people.
And now let's go to that World War II salute.
In the course of history, this nation has, out of necessity, risen to great heights. When liberty and indeed life itself has been threatened, America has always answered the call. And so it was with World War II.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked.
From the sands of Iwo Jima to the beaches of Normandy, we gave, as a nation, our sons and daughters, given in freedom, for freedom. Those that served over the skies of Europe are a magnificent example of a determined commitment and great sacrifice. They came in B-24s, in B-17s. They came in P-47s and P-51s. They came in the night to answer freedom's call. It is hard to imagine the pain, the sacrifice, so many years, so very long ago. It is hard today to understand their depths, the will that drove them forward into a hostile night sky, through ribbons of searching light, sirens wailing, guns pounding from every direction, their planes straining and shaking around them. Forward they flew. How brave they were, those Americans. For this great gift of freedom given us, let us hold these truths and sacrifices as a beacon for the future. A beacon and a lesson that freedom is our national treasure, worthy of great sacrifice. It is this sacrifice of 50 years past that we salute today. The brave Americans in World War II that made the ultimate sacrifice for freedom, that we might stand and celebrate their bravery today, and the freedom that has endured.
Well, this is the way it looked here on the 2nd Street Bridge, and we're joined here by Sergeant Nathaniel Redden. You're stationed at Fort Knox. You're thinking about World War II, even though you're much too young to have been in that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But my grandfather was in World War II, and it's just great to be a part of this, you know, to remember all the vets. We just can't take enough time to thank all the vets for everything they've done.
You feel a kinship with all those soldiers going back to 1776?
Absolutely, sir. There's just no feeling like it. When you see the American flag flying up there, there's just no feeling to match it.
All right. Well, that's only the beginning, and as you know, we're going to be starting Thunder over Louisville here momentarily. I'm going to be putting on my suit to make sure that I'm okay here. This is not easy. I'm not sure my insurance is paid up, but we're going to do our best. Bob and Kirby, back to you.
Oh, you've never looked better, Barry. Be careful on that bridge, will you? Oh, there he goes.
All right, I am in the mood now for some fireworks, so let's throw it up to Terry Miners because it's almost that time.
Oh, hi again. We're getting pumped, ready to rock here. This is Jason. How are you, partner?
Fine.
Have you been nervous about this all day?
No, not until now.
Not until this moment. You live in Corydon, Indiana, so everybody in Indiana's got to be proud that a Hoosier is getting to light this baby up, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Well, you got to have your trigger finger ready. Have you decided which one you're going to use? Put them both up there. Let's inspect them. Let's see. That one's all right. That one's all right. He cleaned under this nail. Maybe we'll use this one. You got it ready? You have to exercise that baby a little bit there, too. I think it's all ready. All right, how are we doing on time here, gentlemen? Okay, we close to 1 minute? 30 seconds, get ready. It's all ready to launch all over here. We've had all these monitors all set up. The command center is all ready. Jason is going to take his key and load it in. Want to go ahead there, Jason? Load her in, and Tim, you tell us when to punch up. Tim Creed is flying a good ship here. Now, don't make all the fireworks land on Kentucky because you're from Indiana. Ready? 4. There he goes. Slap that button. There he goes. Boom. Off we go. It's time for Thunder over Louisville.
Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, baby, was that excellent. Tim Creek, congratulations.
Hey, thanks.
Another beautiful Thunder. And where's the champagne? Usually we break it up. Wayne, come here, Wayne. Turn around. Everybody wants to see. These are the guys. Here are the faces. These are the guys, and who've done it again. Congratulations.
We're pretty hot.
Back to you downstairs.
All right. Oh, my goodness. That was fabulous, wasn't it?
That was incredible. I think we have to check in right now to see if Barry Burnson made it through this thing on the 2nd Street Bridge. Barry.
Oh. Go, 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 go.
Yeah, we don't think this is supposed to be happening right here, but we're kind of glad it is because we're keeping warm up here. You missed the best part when I bungee jumped off the bridge right when all the howitzers were going off. I'm sorry you didn't catch that on camera, but maybe next year. What can I tell you? Back to you.
And here we are with our group of Thunder critics. What'd you guys think? Was it good? Was it a good one, this one? Good. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what was it?
10.
All right, and this is Bob. Bob said he had a comment, huh?
Yeah, I like the end.
You liked the end? Everybody liked the end. And this little gal has never seen Thunder before. What'd you think, honey?
It's good.
You gonna come back next year?
Yeah.
All right, thumbs up. 2 thumbs up from the critics here. All right, we loved it. Back to you guys.
I think I give it 2 thumbs up also. That was wonderful.
We still got the smoke coming in off the river. You know, I thought what was magnificent, in addition to everything else, the CSX railroad bridge.
That was a big surprise, folks.
That was magnificent.
Wasn't that fun?
And also, I got to tell you, though, that final shot with the foreground of the city and the background with the fireworks, I think we got to take one quick second to thank the entire technical crew who did just a great job, and our producer Mary Kay Fields.
Cameramen, camera women, our producer Mary Kay Fields, director Jim Greist, and all the reporters that worked so hard on this. We had a lot of fun this year.
Yes, and I got to tell you, you know, they say it keeps getting bigger and better every year, and I think we proved it. 38 tons, thousands of shells, and the smoke is going. And now, for those of you who are sitting home right now in the comfort of your own home, you have the satisfaction of knowing that
you don't have to drive through all this.
You should see the crowds out here.
Have a great year until we see you at Thunder 1996.
Or at Louisville Tonight Live this coming Monday night at 7:30. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
WHAS TV's exclusive live coverage of Thunder over Louisville was sponsored by Kroger, always on the cutting edge, by Paramount, life should be so simple, by UPS, the package delivery company more companies count on, by Louis Rich, switch to rich, Louis Rich, and by Coca-Cola, always refreshing, always Coca-Cola.
San Francisco-style sourdough grilled with a juicy quarter pound.
Fresh from the kitchen at Hardee's.
Rise and shine, omelet lovers. The ultimate omelet biscuit at Hardee's.
Get what I need. You're going to jail now.
Come and get me.